I am breaking my 6-month hiatus to post a video to this YouTube channel. It's been a while since I've pressed record, and I'm incentivized specifically today since the Joey Gallo news broke. So the news is Joey Gallo was released by the White Sox, which was a mutual release. Joey Gallo requested to be released. I don't think he would have made the major league roster with them at all. Like, it really means something when someone cannot play for the 2025 White Sox when they're that performing that badly in spring training. He had a 100 average, 243 OPS, no extra base hits. His only highlight being an RBI single. So I already had the idea in my mind of, yeah, he's not going to be making the opening day roster, let alone the active roster. So I already had that in my mind initially. I went to the driving range today. I hit some golf balls with my coworker. And while I was doing this, the news broke that he was released. And not only that, he's going to be pursuing pitching. He posted on X, Instagram, that the outfield was fun. Peace sign. And that made me think, because I didn't have the news in my mind at the time, I was thinking, what? You've been playing the infield for the past 3 seasons. Why is this news? But then in the next post, and not sure how he clarified on Instagram, but on X, he clarified saying, just to be clear, this means I will be pitching. So Joey Gallo is now pursuing pitching, a position that he played in high school and was wanting to be, was scouted for initially before he was drafted by the Rangers in 2012. He threw a no-hitter before taking Greg Max's daughter to prom. That's one of the Joey Gallo fun facts that's always spread around. But he had a mid-90s fastball, and scouts were, wanting him to pursue pitching, but he ultimately chose to be a position player. And in my opinion, this is a gamble because he's built a whole resume off of being a position player. He's a 2-time All-Star, has over 200 career home runs, even has 2 Gold Gloves. I would love for Joey Gallo to succeed at pitching. I would love to watch that. But we've seen players do this before recently, like Brett Phillips and Ronald Guzman. And as far as I'm concerned, they did that in the past year or two, and they're not in the league. So I wish the best of luck to Joey Gallo, of course. He has one of the best velocities from outfield assists and throwing in the outfield. He gets near 100 easily when he's gunning down runners. But you're stationary on the mound. You don't have any crow hops. You're not running towards your target. You're going to be stationary. So that's going to be a challenge in and of itself. It wouldn't be the first time that this has happened, at least in the reverse order of Rick Ankiel, who had the major yips as a pitcher. Flourished as an outfielder when he decided to pursue being a position player. So this will be interesting to see. Watching Joey Gallo is going to be harder than ever now because if a team signs him, he's not going to be put on their major league roster as a pitcher. He's going to be in the minor leagues. So he's just going to be playing in the minor leagues if he's playing at all. But man, and considering this too, Joey Gallo is only 2 full seasons away of being on an active roster to getting 10 years of service time. And when you get 10 years of service time, you get an MLB pension for the rest of your life. So I personally think this is a big gamble. I want Joey Gallo to get the 10 years of service time more than anyone because he's my favorite player in the league. When I started watching Rangers games from the beginning of the season in 2018, he's He's my favorite player to watch. He kept me the most engaged during the rebuild. So, gosh, I wish him the best of luck. In other news, the Texas Rangers. I won't go over everything the Rangers have done because that would take a very long time. But some key additions that I can definitely point out are Jock Peterson, Jake Berger, Kyle Higashioka, overhauling the bullpen, and I'll just go into the specifics with those. Jock Peterson performed elite as a DH with the Diamondbacks last season, hitting 20 home runs, having an over 900 OPS. Jake Berger, I've watched him on the White Sox, and even when he was traded to the Marlins in 2023, he's a good offensive bat, but if you look into his defense, negative DRS, doesn't really pass the sabermetrics test when it comes to defense. So I'm not thrilled about that. I am sad that Nathaniel Lowe's gone because he at least performed very well defensively, as dynamic as his offense could be. Kyle Higashioka, who had a great offensive showing in the Wild Card Series and in Game 2 of the NLDS, hitting 3 home runs in a span of 4 games. I've always known him as a defense-first catcher, but with how he's done offensively, not just in the postseason, but even last season, he had a double-digit home run season. And for catchers, if catchers are mainly expected in the major leagues to play great defense, but if they have good offense to go along with that, awesome. And that's hopefully what Kyle Higashioka will provide on the Rangers. In the bullpen, man, it's like the Rangers were listening to me when they were making their offseason moves, because the bullpen has been the most hit-or-miss bullpen ever. And they decided to make a billion signings for the bullpen. Signing minor league players like Luis Cervello from the Mariners system, who lots of analysts were saying was a fleece by the Rangers because he was performing very well in the minor leagues. Hobie Milner, Jacob Webb from the Orioles, Sean Armstrong from the Cubs, Robert Garcia, who came in the Nathaniel Lowe trade, re-signing former Rangers like Chris Martin and Jesse Chavez, signing a minor league contract for Joe Barlow. I absolutely love this. The Rangers have had major departures in the bullpen, such as Jose Leclerc, Kirby Yates, and David Robertson, who's still a free agent, but I don't see it likely that he's going to be re-signing with the Rangers. He's probably wanting to test the free agent market. But the Rangers have addressed the bullpen successfully, I'd say. A minus offseason, I'd say, for the Rangers. The greatest concerns I have right now, this is today, March 16th. John Gray fractured his right wrist. Cody Bradford not going to be ready for opening day. And we already are up in the air about Jacob deGrom. I've heard Bruce Bochy say that he wants to use him in a limited capacity, doesn't want to put him in the ringer right away come opening day. So, gosh, yet another season where the starting pitching staff is in and out of injuries. So, that's irritating. Now, Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter are very likely going to be taking the spots for Cody Bradford and John Gray. So, we'll see how they do. They had some struggles in their first seasons. But Jack Leiter has been doing very well in spring training so far. It has a just above 3 ERA and still has that velocity that we saw last season. So I am confident that Jack Leiter will perform competently. As for Kumar Rocker, he's doing bad in spring training, but spring training, I don't let it be the end all be all when I see spring training statistics. If y'all remember, Rougned Odor was historically an amazing performer in spring training, but we all know that was never the case during the regular season. So I won't let spring training stats be the end-all be-all. I know he has the stuff. I know he has dirty off-speed pitches, especially his slider. The first time I saw him pitch, I thought his slider was a curveball based on how much vertical break there was. But I'll maintain optimism just because, I mean, what? Y'all want me to be the pessimist Rangers fan? I'm sure there's plenty of those. So I'll have optimism. How about that? As for Josh Young, initially was shut down at the beginning of spring training for all physical activity, but it's back up and going. And golly, just please, with this Rangers Cup, I beg the baseball gods, please give Josh Young health. And as for Wyatt Langford, baseball gods, do not give him the sophomore slump. And yeah, Leody Taveras and Evan Carter, I'm sure it's going to be a battle till the end for who's going to get the center field spot. But me personally, I think that should go to Leody Taveras. He has years on Evan Carter. He has experience. He has proven that he is a major league average center fielder. He's had his moments where he's missed some fly balls here and there, but he is a very competent center fielder. And his offense has been, I'd say he's on average, below average. Offensively, I know this is a word salad, but typically he's a below average offensive player. But he provides great fielding for center field. Adolis, he has made he set lofty expectations for himself, wanting to hit 50 home runs. Gosh, I'd love to see that happen. The Rangers haven't had a player hit 50 home runs since, gosh, the Wangan days. I don't even know if he ever hit 50 home runs. I'd have to see. But I'd love to see that, of course. So, yeah, I think that covers everything. I covered the outfield somewhat. As for the infield, Seager and Simeon, I mean, we already know what to expect from them, so why do I even need to address it? Just kidding. They're all-star level players. I love watching the middle infield in Texas turn double plays and mash offensively. So I'm very comfortable with the middle infield of the Texas Rangers. As for first base, gosh, I'm not thrilled about Jake Berger's defense. And from what I saw from Jacques Peterson's defense, he didn't play first last season, but during his time with the Giants, he played competent defense from what I was gathering. So, yeah, I'll be hopeful about his defense. Let's see. Catcher, Kyle Higashioka and Jonah Heim, they'll split time with each other. And I hope Jonah Heim gets back to his offensive prowess that he showed somewhat in 2021 with his walk-off home runs, 2023 with his all-star season, first half at least. He's proven that he has good offense as a catcher. Just is about, being consistent, and hopefully with Kyle Higashioka splitting time, that gives him, more comfort in knowing that he doesn't have to be the majority playing time catcher for the Rangers. So I'm hopeful. Anything else? I think that covers it, just about. If I missed anything, I'll of course add in the comments. I don't think I missed anything egregious, but in closing, Joey Gallo pursuing pitching. Opening day on March 27th against the Boston Red Sox. But the roster that we saw on Saturday night against the Rockies, very likely going to be the opening day roster with Nathan Eovaldi on the bump. But, yeah, that about does it. I hope this compensates for my 6-month hiatus. Cheers.